Hi everyone, this is Satyajit. In this video, we will discuss about the different type of IP address, like what is public IP address, what is private IP address, and what is elastic IP address, which supports in AWS. Okay, so private IP address is nothing but it is the CIDR range which we provided for that particular subnet. And whenever we are going to create any EC2 server in that subnet, it will pick the EC2 instance will pick any of the IP from that subnet. Okay, so it is managed by the DHCP. Okay, so dynamic host configurations protocol. It will pick any of the IP address dynamically out of that range. Okay, so now this public server, it is in the public subnet. Okay, if I go to this, it is in the public subnet. A minute. Now this public server, it is in the public subnet. So in that public subnet, the IP range of public subnet is 10.0.0/24. So 10.0.0/24 is, it will take the IP address from 10.0.0.0 to 10.0.0.255, right? So if you go for the EC2 instance of public one, so it is the IP address is 10.0.0.26. It means it took one of the IP address out of that range randomly. So it is the work of DHCP. Okay, so that is private. So private IP address is already, so it will be there for the lifetime of that EC2 instance. Like that, if EC2 instance will be there, that private IP will be there. Once the EC2 instance will terminate, that private IP is going to delete or release. Okay, so that is private IP. And when you call about public IP, so this public IP is also, it is used, public IP is used to access the EC2 instance, right? Publicly. Okay, so that is public IP. But the one demerits of the public IP is it is not static. It means if I do the stop and start of the server, this public IP is going to change. Okay, so let me show you the public IP ending with 148. So now if I select that instance and I will stop it. Okay, once I stop this server, it will be going a stopping state. So in stopping state, and in some more time, it will be in a stopped state. Once the EC2 instance is in stopped state, the IP, the public IP is going to release, but the private IP, it will remain same. If you select this one, now it is not in stop. That's the reason we can able to see the public IP and you can able to see the private IP. But once that EC2 instance is in stopped state, you cannot able to see the public IP. Let us refresh. So now it's stopped state. So now there will be no public IP, but the private IP is there because private IP is attached to the EC2 instance, and it will be linked to the EC2 instance lifetime. If the EC2 instance will terminate, then only this IP will be released. Okay, so now the IP got the public IP got released, right? Once I do the start again, okay, so what will happen? The IP will come, the new IP which will come, it will be a new IP. It is not the old IP. So in that cases, so the problem will, like in some of the customer, let's say this EC2 instance publicly accessible and some of the application is running here, and this IP, the customer, they have whitelisted somewhere, okay, and they're able to access it. But if this IP, if some issue happen and we stop the server, or because of any issue from the AWS data center or hardware issue, the server got stopped and start, right? So on that situations, the IP is going to change, right? But customer already hard coded the previous IP. On that situations, it will be very helpful and there will be a downtime associated. Okay, so now we'll just verify. Now it is in running state, and if you'll see now, last time it was .148 ending with 148, but see now the ending with .7. So the IP got changed. Okay, so that is the demerits of the public IP. So then how to overcome that? So to overcome that, there will be another IP which is called elastic IP. So elastic IP is also a public IP, but elastic IP is just static. It means it is remains same like private IP throughout the lifetime of your EC2 instance. Someone can disassociate and can attach to other instance, but the elastic IP will be remain static, though you stopped it and start it. Okay, so now how to do that? You can just go to this elastic IP and you can create a elastic IP. So I have already created an elastic IP, the second one. Once this, just you can create an allocate elastic IP, it will be allocated. Okay, but be careful. Whenever you are allocating an elastic IP, it is chargeable. Okay, but it must to be attached to EC2 instance or any other ENI or anything. Once it is attached, then it will be there will be no cost. But if it is in available state but not attached to anything, then there will be a costly. So now what we will do, we need to select this EC2 instance and we need to associate it. So we need to associate to whom? The public server. And what is the private IP of that server? See, 10.0.0.26. You can select it, or by default it will be selected. If you don't select it, it will by default it will pick it. So now this elastic IP is associated. If you go to the EC2 server and verify, now the public server has a elastic IP address. If you see 18.140.35.214, it is elastic IP address. So now this will work fine. If I do stop also, like let's say public server, I will do stop. Okay, if I do stop also, the IP will remain same. But the last time, like when public IP, when you do stop, the IP got released. But here, if it is in stop state also, the elastic IP is in available state. Okay, the IP will be available. And if you start it again, it will be pick that IP only, because that IP will be in there attached. We can just verify, let it be in a stop state. Okay, it is in stop state now. If you see, the same IP is there. Okay, and if I will going to start it again, and the IP will the instance will in the running state and the IP will remain same. So that is the benefit of elastic IP, and that is the advantages compared to the public IP. Public IP and elastic IP are same. Only difference is public IP is dynamic and elastic IP is static. It will remain same. Okay, so this is the difference between public IP, private IP, and elastic IP. And we will use this concept or this IP throughout this course. So please clarify all of your doubt. If you have any questions, put it in the comments. I will look into that and I will respond you. Thank you for watching my videos. So now it's in running state, right? If you see, the IP is still present and elastic IP is present. Okay. Yeah. Thank you for watching my videos.